What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. And right now, I'd like to talk a little bit about what's coming in 2021. And when I talk about that, let's specifically talk about shark movies. Because yes, I love shark movies. Jaws is my all-time favorite movie, but it does not matter. I love pretty much any shark movie that they put out, I'm gonna watch, and a lot of them are horrible. I realize that, and I get that, and a lot of them I just roll my eyes at, and I'm like, this is garbage. But it's a shark movie, so I want to watch it. And it looks so. There are 5 shark movies coming out in 2021, and I'm gonna rank them from the one that I'm least anticipating to the one that I'm most anticipating, and it looks like, I mean, you know, shark movies, we've gone through a period in history where shark movies have been in the so bad they're good category, right? Like Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, or Sharknado, or just the ridiculous shark movies like Shark and Soft Prison, Santa Jaws, just the worst of the worst. Jurassic Shark, just really bad stuff. And we've seen a bit of a resurgence in serious shark movies where the shark is meant to be scary. The Reef is a great example. I think The Reef is probably the second best shark movie out there behind Jaws. The Shallows is a good example. That shark was intended to be scary. It wasn't played for laughs. It wasn't played for silliness. It was played for scariness. You know, even things like The Meg, that was not supposed to be taken seriously, but they took it serious enough. You know, shark movies have made a comeback where they are taking them seriously, and the intention is to scare or thrill instead of make you laugh or just make you stand there in awe at the horribleness of it. You know, they're meant to thrill or scare now. And I'm glad that shark movies have kind of circled back around to that, where it's okay for them to be scary again. And it looks like our 5 offerings that we're going to get this year, it looks like the intention behind all of them is to scare. There probably won't all be successful, but at least 1 or 2 of them have to be, right? So let's talk about the 5 shark movies that's coming out this year, from the one that I'm least anticipating to most anticipating. Number 5, the one I'm least anticipating, is From the Depths. And this one is the one that looks like it's the least, the least shark movie of the bunch. In the Depths is about a girl who experiences a shark attack, and she gets PTSD over the whole shark attack, and it causes her to kind of go off the deep end mentally. It looks like it's going to be a very a psychological horror movie as opposed to a shark movie, where most of the movie is about her aftermath from the attack, how she recovers or how she doesn't recover, and ends up, like I said, kind of going off the deep end and even probably resorting to violence against others. So while it was it's an interesting concept, and actually in the trailer the shark actually looks pretty good. I don't think this is going to be a shark movie in the way that most shark movies are. This is going to be a shark movie that has an attack, and the rest of the movie is going to be about the aftermath of the attack. Kind of like Soul Surfer, right? Even though very, very different trajectories that those 2 movies will take after the attack. You know, most of the movie is going to be about the aftermath. So In the Depths is number 5. All right, number 4 is Something in the Water. So this is going to be about a future bride and her bridesmaids going out on a trip before the bride's wedding, out on a boat, and of course things do not go well, and there's a shark involved, and it's very possible that a good title for this movie would be 4 funerals and a wedding, because my guess is the bride will survive, but the 4 bridesmaids are going to be cannon fodder. So, you know, this sounds like, you know, a survival type story, which is what a lot of shark movies, the scary shark movies, have become now, is survival type stories. So that's number 4, Something in the Water. Number 3 sounds very similar in concept. It's called Great White. And this involves a couple on a seaplane, and they see some people in distress in the water, and they go down to land in the water to rescue those people. And something awful happens to the plane. The plane is destroyed. The people who are piloting the plane, they end up in a raft, and they realize, all right, we've got to make it 100 miles in this raft to land. All the while, we've got a great white shark on our tail. Again, it's a survival type story, and I think that's definitely the type of story that they're leaning into if they're trying to make shark movies scary. Is they're leaning into the survival aspects. Is all right, the shark is not the main antagonist. The main antagonist is nature. The shark just happens to be the avatar for how awful and horrible and cruel nature can be. And that definitely sounds like the route that they're taking with Great White. So that's my number 3. All right, my number two is the sequel to one of my favorite shark movies of all time, and it is called The Reef, and then Stalked. So The Reef, and then subtitle Stalked. And The Reef was phenomenal. It was about a group of people that end up in a boat. You know, they hit a reef. Their boat hits a reef, and the boat is sinking, and they decide that they've got to swim about 12 miles to shore. And they begin being stalked by a great white shark that literally picks them off one at a time. And The Reef Stalked is, coming 10 years later, but it is made by the same creative team that made the first Reef. So this isn't the case of a production company making another shark movie and just attaching a familiar shark title to it. No, this is a sequel that is made by the creative team of the original. So for that reason, it's probably going to feel very much like a sequel to the original Reef, even though it probably will not have any of the characters from the original because, spoiler alert, only one person survived the original. But this one is going to involve some people out kayaking, and they get attacked by a shark, disabled, whatever the case may be, and they have to survive a continuous onslaught from a shark. And again, survival aspect. And but this one is higher on the list than those other ones simply because of the creative team behind it. I'm really excited about seeing that team tackle another shark movie. So The Reef Stalked is my number 2. But the shark movie that I am most looking forward to, and it sounds so crazy that it just might work, in the same year that Kong vs. Godzilla comes out, we're going to get a movie called Alphas. Now, this movie is about there is great white sharks terrorizing a local community, and it sounds like it's more than one great white shark terrorizing a local community. So how do they get rid of their shark problem? Well, they introduce a pod of killer whales into the waters off of this community. And the movie is called Alphas because you've got the two alpha predators in the ocean, killer whales versus great white sharks, towing off against each other. Now, we all know how this would play out in reality. In reality, the killer whales would destroy the great white sharks, but that doesn't matter. This is fictional movie world, and I'm excited, almost pumped to see fictional movie world orcas taking on Jaws. Orca taking on Jaws. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the poster, it actually looks like they're going to try to take it seriously. Like, this is going to be not a tongue-in-cheek, not a silly sci-fi type movie, but a movie that is going to get a wide theatrical release that is done with high production values. The Sam, what's his last name? The guy who plays an Avatar. Let me look it up. Sam Worthington. Sam Worthington plays in this, so it has an established, well-known, or at least well-recognized actor playing the lead role, and I think they're gonna go all out, and they're gonna make something a lot of fun. It may not be very realistic, but I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So, Alphas is my most anticipated shark movie of the year. So let's recap. Number 5, From the Depths. Number 4 is Something in the Water. Number 3 is Great White. Number 2 is The Reef, Stalked. And then number 1 is Alphas. All right, guys. So, are you looking forward to seeing any of these shark movies? Let me know in the comments down below if so and which ones. I'd love to have a conversation with you about it. While you're down there, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out a lot of content. I want to make sure that you're up to date with everything that I'm doing. And as always, thank you so much for joining me right here at the OQ Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.